All right. So offense, we got 1, 4, and 5, 2, and 3. I just always kind of like even numbers on the right side. Anyway, so you got 4 and 5. You got big guys on the elbows. You got small guys in the corners. You got a point guard up top. This can work against man or zone. So you inspired, but this is so yeah. Offense. So this guy comes and sets a pick for 1. 1 comes around looking to score. 4 rolls to the basket. 5 pops out to the wing, and 5 pops out to the wing like immediately. If there's nothing there for 1, 1 keeps coming down, hands the ball off to 2, and sets a pick. 2 comes up, trying to score. Right. This is the same offense I run with my 9 and 10-year-olds. Although you should have a lot more success with your competitive team because you're gonna have basically everybody who can handle the ball pretty well and make decent decisions. So that's good. And so yeah, so 1 comes down here, rolls to the basket, pops out. 2 comes around. 4 is rolled and then gone out to the corner. 5 is waiting up here, and 3 has moved up a little bit. Right, so that's your setup. So 2 keeps going. If they can't score, they keep coming up. 5 comes up, hands it off to 5. 5 tries to score. 2 rolls to the basket. If 5 can't score coming around, hands it off to 1. Sets a pick. 1 comes back around, and it's just it might seem complicated, but it's really simple. Pick and rolls happen in 2 places. Pick and rolls happen up here, and they happen down here, right? And so that means that you try to score or you hand it off to the next closest person. Every time you roll to the basket from the top of the key, you get out to the corner. It's constant pick and roll, constant pick and roll. If you don't want it to be that complicated, you can have it start with that initial screen and just tell them to keep moving the ball around and setting picks, the third one, and you only move on to the next option if there's nothing available to shoot. So yeah, but yeah, if you want to stick with that, I encourage you to teach them like, hey, try to score, and then if it's not there, move on to the next option. So that's against man-to-man, which I'm guessing you're probably not seeing a lot of, if any at all. But that's the most fun. That's fun because you keep the same lineup, and it works against a zone also. So how does it work against a zone? You can do this a few different ways. Again, this is where EJ's height as a point guard is so vital. I don't know if I said that already, but so the 2 guards down here shoot up to the wings. And I would say these 2 can come down to the blocks if that's how you want to play it against a zone, or they can pop out to the corners as well. And that gives you a 5-out setup. You know, you got 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 5. Everybody's outside. The reason you could get away with a 5-out setup is because of EJ's height. And why is his height so important? Because if you want somebody catching the ball in the middle of traffic here in a zone, you want it to be somebody with height, presumably. So you've got all this going on out here, and so you've got 4 out. I would say if the ball comes out to this side, the 5 comes back to the block, EJ cuts down in here, and then you got high-low. So you try to get the ball to EJ on this free throw line area, right? And if that's available, he catches it. He either shoots, or if somebody steps up, you have this person down here posting up, EJ could hit them, right? Or if he catches it in here, this defender comes over, he makes a, you've got, I'm assuming, you've got a 2-3, right? So, or 2-3, 3-2, whatever it is. If you have a defender come over and you can swing the ball from here out to this person, he ought to have an open lane to kind of drive in. And, anyway, but you keep the ball moving around, right? So you've got 1, 2, and 3. So the 2 corner people come up from that initial setup. Yeah. So the most simple version, again, like the man-to-man thing, is just using this as a format, as an easy way to know how to set up. So you got 1, 4, 5, 2, 3. You see man-to-man, lots of pick and rolls. You see zone. These 2 come up to help. These 2 come up to help. If they're trapping, then you can just have all 4 of these people stay up and find the open man, right? You make sure they're spaced out enough, they're wide enough where, they're out here, so one can find either of those if one is trapped or one of these two coming out and helping as well. So there's always some, the open person is going to be close if they double team. All right, last thing. Now, so this setup of 1, 4, 5, I'm trying to draw these numbers backwards, not sure how that's working out. Anyway, 2 and 3. All right, so you got 1, 2, this setup here. It also extends to full court as a press break. And again, EJ's height is so valuable here. You've got 1 kind of down here in the middle, right? And then you would have 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? So if you see a zone press and your point guard catches the ball right here, right? And by the way, I know this is 5 people on the court. I didn't know that when I was thinking about it. But anyway, you can just have 2 inbound the ball, pass it into 1, and then cut hard up this right side. And then have them set up. Same thing if the ball's on this side, you can just have 3 inbound it, and then 3 you can shoot up here after they inbound the ball. So you get the ball inbounded to 1, and then this is, like I said, EJ's height is valuable because if they try to trap, he can just see over the defenders, and again, if there's 2 people on him, somebody's open, and it should be, here, 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 or here, all of which are relatively close passes, right? And then as they come down the court, from half court, go straight down to the elbow, straight down to the elbow, straight down to the corner, straight down to the corner, and that leaves you with this offensive setup on the other side. Yeah, and then against a man-to-man pressure, I'm sure you could set something up that's pretty simple. Or maybe, if you see man-to-man, you have 1, let's say 2's inbounding, 3 over here. You have 3 come set a pick for 1 and just kind of curl in this area, and 3 pops out. Maybe I make sure 2 inbound on the ball on the other side. Whatever it is, just a little screen to get them open. Then after that, trust them to get up the court. I'd like to think with EJ's size and strength, he could post up and just catch the ball and break a man-to-man press almost by himself. The other thing you could do is you could have your point guard inbound the ball, have your 1, pass it in, and then, you've got 2, 3, 4, and 5 up here, and you could have 2 set a pick for 4, 3 set a pick for 5, and have them shoot down into this area, shoot down here. Point guard passes the ball, right? So say they pass it there, come get a handoff and shoot up, or pass it out over here, and then come get a handoff and shoot up the court. Either way, so you can use that as a press break against a zone press or a man press, and then in the half court, you can use it as lots of pick and roll fun, double pick if you want to, whatever you feel is, if you want to make it simple or more complicated, whatever you feel comfortable with. Another thing you do with man-to-man, and I'm actually probably going to put it in with my 9-10 team I might put it in with my 9 and 10 team at some point, not really sure yet, is having these 2 come down and screen, if you want to get these shooters an opportunity and just have them pop up off the screens and look to shoot or look to score, depending. If they come up straight up, it could be for a 3, or they could kind of curl off in here and try to get to the basket. I don't think I'm missing anything, but like I say, yeah. So the main thing is that elbow, the 2 elbows, 2 corners set up gives you good spacing, I think.